So today I'm making signs to go all around the front entrance of our cave, and I've got 3 different ones here: the warning dangerous mine shafts, the hard hat area, and the blasting area. And so all I did with these so far is excuse me, is I made the graphics up on my computer and just printed them out on cardstock paper right out of my printer, and to make them look less like printer paper and more like signs, I made them a little bit more square. And so now what I've done is I've just gone through and cut the white areas out, just cut these right off so that they're more of a different shape. And I'm going to finish cutting these, and then I'm going to get started on faux painting and to getting them waterproofed. Okay, now I'm starting on the rest, and pretty simple. I just took this is more of a hard bristled brush, and if you know how to dry brush, you know how to do this, but just in case anybody's watching that doesn't, I like a brush that's harder bristled, and I poured a little bit of this rust colored paint. I was lucky enough to find a whole bunch of these color samples at our local thrift store for 25 cents a piece. They were throwing them away, but just any color that looks like rust. And you want to pour a little bit onto a newspaper and just barely touch the tip of your brush in and dab off the excess, and then just dab it on like this. And now you're going to want to look at some sample signs of what antique signs, how they rust. And typically it's going to be along the top and the corners where the most rain hits. And then if you're going to put if you're going to hook it on all 4 corners, then you want to get around where your nail would go in the corner, because that's going to allow some water to come in and that's going to rust. And then just a couple of general areas in and around the sign. And I'm gonna do all the 3 corners and just a little bit down here. Just a little bit down here, just to keep it gross. And I'm gonna do a couple of colors, but I'm gonna start with this orange, and I'm gonna go ahead and do all of my signs in orange, and then we're gonna add some browns and some blacks. So I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, now I have all of the rust colored paint on all of my signs, and they're already starting to look pretty good. But now it's time to do color number 2, and this time I'm using this this burnt umber brown, dark brown. And again, if you're looking at pictures of actual rusted signs, you can see that the darker colors are right around the edges where the deepest rust cut in, which is where the rain will really hit it. So the same thing, you just pour it in, and same hard brush, dip it just a little bit in and blob some off. And then you want to go just around these edges where the real thick stuff comes in. And I know, with most things, I tend to do the darker colors first and the lighter colors second. But with this, I opted not to do that because I was afraid that I would get too much dark if I did it that way. So I find if I start with the color that I know I can't go wrong with, there's no such thing as getting too much orange on here. But if you get too much brown, it's going to look bad. So I tend to, for this project, do the lighter colors first and then just barely accent with the darker colors. So I'm going to keep just dotting around these edges, and I'm going to do all of these signs, and then I'll come back and show you the next part. So now I've gone back and put the brown on all of my signs, and I think they look pretty good. They're pretty much done with paint now, except for here. I wanted to show you this one right here. I got a little bit carried away with the brown, and it got too dark and it didn't do well. So it's really easy to do. I'm just going to go back with a little bit of my original rust color and just go right in over that and lighten that up a little bit. So it's fixable, no problem. But anyway, you go through and get all those done like that and let that paint dry, and then we've got to water treat them, because this is just paper and it's got to stay up, in case of rain. In our case, it's got to stay up 2 nights, but I know some people go the whole month of October. So we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back and seal them. Okay, now I have each piece of paper on their own newspaper, and I'm going to give them all a coating of this indoor-outdoor spar urethane. And interestingly, this one says clear satin, but I've had it for a while and I've used it on a bunch of projects, and it comes out like a tinted yellow, which is perfect for these signs because it's just going to give them a little bit more of that. Oh, sorry, my gloves fanned. Yeah, I wear gloves for varnish. I hate getting it on my hands. But anyway, so it'll give it, it'll cut this white a little bit and give it a little bit more of a yellow hue. So I'm going to do all of them one coat in the front and let it dry, and then flip it over and do another coat on the back and see how it looks. I might give it 2 coats depending. These aren't going to be out more than overnight, so for me 1 coat will probably do it. But you know, use your best judgment. If you're going to be in an area where you're going to have these things out, you know, all of October, you might want to do a couple more coats just to be sure. But that should keep it pretty water resistant. And so I'm going to get that knocked out. Here they are after the first coating of spar varnish. They're still just a little bit tacky, but they have a slight bit of shine, but not too terribly much. And I think they're gonna turn out really good. So I still have to do the back side, but for the purpose of this video, I think you get the idea. So if you do these, or you know, ones like these, if you make your own signs, let me know. Send me a picture, post a video or something so I can see what you did. But thanks for watching, and I hope this helped somebody, and subscribe if you haven't, and happy haunting!